So thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Soroka. I'm CEO for XtremeIO. And we are in the business of storage solutions. We believe we are redefining many aspects of storage. It's not exactly this type of storage, but rather the type that goes into data centers, alongside compute and networking, one of the major elements in modern IT infrastructure. I think we have got used to the amazing pace at which technology is moving forward, and I think no one is surprised to see orders of magnitude acceleration in speeds of processing over recent decades. But no less surprising is the fact that storage improved dramatically less, creating a gap of orders of magnitude between the speed in which we are able to process data today and the speed that allows us to access data that is stored in storage arrays. This makes storage possibly one of the key, if not the key, bottleneck element and pain point when people are trying continuously to accelerate IT applications, support higher workloads, real-time activities, transactional processing, and storage is limiting those activities and acceleration in many ways, and is a major pain point in IT infrastructure today. And we at XtremeIO are trying to relieve these pain points, and where there is pain point, there is opportunity. To do that, we leverage flash technology and the shift from mechanical, magnetic storage media to electronic media. Flash is obviously dominating consumer electronics. It's not anywhere close in enterprise IT infrastructure, but it has gotten to the stage in terms of reliability, density, price points that allow us to start thinking about leveraging flash in a big way in the enterprise domain. There are many technical details around building storage with flash. I will not get into any of those, but we'll just point out very important aspects where flash behaves completely opposite to traditional magnetic media. With hard drives and systems that were built for decades, perfecting the performance or trying to perfect the performance and the functionality of hard drive-based storage, the capacity is very cheap, the performance is very low. With flash, it's completely the opposite. Capacity is expensive, but performance is extremely high. So it would be no surprise that systems that were designed for years by dominant players in the field were designed to leverage cheap capacity and try as much as possible to compensate and cope with low performance. If you take those systems and try to apply them to flash, you get far from optimal results. You are doing almost the opposite from what you need to do when you work with flash media, which would be leveraging the very high performance capabilities of flash and trying to cope as much as possible with the expensive price of raw flash capacity. And this is what we are doing with XtremeIO, building systems solutions for storage in data centers that leverage the performance and cope with the cost challenges of flash. How can we cope with cost when it's inherently more expensive than the traditional media? Not looking to go into any technical details, I will borrow an analogy from the world of Lego modeling. If we were to store this model of the Empire State Building, traditional systems would take the 2,141 Lego bricks and store all of them inside the storage solution. We are doing something very different. We look at the distinct bricks. There are only 36 of those in this model of the Empire State Building. We only store those 36, and together with those 36 distinct types of bricks, we store special instructions that allow us to reconstruct the original model. And so instead of storing 2,000 bricks, we only store 36, plus sophistication in the algorithm and what I call here special instruction level. In a way, we remove redundancies in the data, in the information that we store, and we store information much more efficiently, which allows us to deliver the advantages of flash storage with extremely attractive economics. This is what it looks like. We deliver complete system solutions. As always, it's all in the brain. In our case, software that runs on commodity hardware and includes all of our IP algorithms for efficient storage and management of data. It took us almost 2.5 years to deliver this solution to the market, which is today in the hands of customers, and around 50 employees today working on developing and marketing those solutions. The bottom line value proposition that we are able to offer customers with this solution, I'm looking at specific example from a customer of ours in the web services domain, using 4 large racks of traditional storage up until now, very limiting performance challenges, expensive, power hungry. We are able to support the exact same set of applications with something that is shown here at scale, is almost 10% in size.
1 minute.
And that's not the important thing, or not the main thing. It's also 20 times faster, 2,000% in speed, costs half as much as the 4X you see on the left, consumes 20% of the power, and performs operational activities that are usually done on a daily basis in seconds instead of hours. In many ways, I look at this as a value proposition that is offering our customers kind of free lunch. It's faster, it's cheaper, it's easier to use, it's smaller, and it consumes much less power. And where we can deliver free lunch to our customers, we have a very significant market opportunity for XtremeIO. Thank you very much.
Judges, your questions.
Ehud, thank you for the presentation. I think that I saw you about 2 years ago, and you demonstrate significant progress till now. This market is controlled by few big vendors. Do you have an idea regarding their plans?
Yes, so we did not invent flash technology, obviously, and they are integrating flash technologies into their existing platforms. But they are doing, the best they can. But what I tried to present as kind of the opposite to what you would want to be ideally. They take fast and expensive flash and put it in systems that were designed to cope with slow, cheap media. You get something that does not leverage the potential of flash in terms of performance and does not cope with the cost challenges of flash. So it's much more expensive and much less performing.
Ehud, you're selling a storage system product in an environment that requires high availability, 7 by 24,
right.
365 days. How do you plan to go to market from Israel to sell to overseas customers and handle manufacturing of the box, putting it in data centers in the U.S., UK,
Sure.
and supporting them around the clock?
Yeah, a very a significant challenge, no doubt. And storage is a conservative market that requires very high quality solutions. And as you mentioned, a very high level of support. What makes it at all possible for us is the fact that the value proposition is so dramatic. In many cases, it's almost irresistible for customers. And since they cannot get the same value proposition from the incumbent vendors, they are considering working with us. Relative to support, we are working with partnerships to allow a geographical spread. We don't have the XtremeIO manpower, obviously. And supporting with XtremeIO both out of Israel for the European market and in the US, in the Bay Area office for the US market, the tier 3 kind of support. Operations in terms of production is relatively simple challenge because we are all based on commodity hardware. So the manufacturing itself is relatively a minor challenge.
Okay, can you please refer a little bit to your competition? Because, well, the flash market is not, well, you are not the only player, as you mentioned.
Sure, yeah, yes. Some others are identifying the opportunities as well. I would say the competition is much less in numbers than what you would think based on the hype around flash. Flash is the right word these days. So everyone is including flash in their marketing materials and products. But there are only a very small number of small private companies, such as XtremeIO, that are developing architectures from scratch to leverage flash in an optimal way. And in this respect, we do see competition from a small number of startups, mostly or exclusively US-based, that are going with the same kind of philosophy. I would say that relative to the opportunity, the size of the market and the level of disruption, we are seeing a manageable level of competition, I would say.
So I guess it's kind of a related question. So two parts. One is how does the technology itself, the non-flash part of the technology, compare or differ from some of the more traditional deduplication types of technologies that are out there? And two, is any of it unique to flash, or you know, would it be just as useful on a non-flash box?
Yeah, it's a great question because it's very relevant to ask, well, if we apply all these algorithms to more efficiently store data and reduce the effective cost, why wouldn't we apply them on traditional magnetic media and reduce the cost there, and the cost difference will still remain the same? So the answer is, if you do that, with traditional magnetic media, you lose performance in a very big way that is totally unacceptable. Those algorithms that compact and reduce data and store it more efficiently require very fast storage media to access the information. Information is accessed much more rapidly and randomly when you use these algorithms. And so applying them on traditional magnetic media would in principle work. Data will be packed more efficiently, but performance, which to begin with is not that great with magnetic media, would go down to an absolute unacceptable level. And this is why these kind of techniques match very well with flash, but do not work well with magnetic media. And if you ask yourself, why haven't people done this before with magnetic media, that's the answer. It just doesn't work well.
I have one follow-up question with the seconds we have left about revenue for performance in 2011. Can you give us a sense for how the company is doing?
For?
Revenues.
We are, 2012 is our first revenue year, so we are not providing numbers. We are in a very large number of customer trials today, both in the US and central markets in Europe. Financial sectors, some of the largest banks, Wall Street, London, web, and enterprise customers in general. So we do see very strong traction.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.